Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. We are here with the T1000 patch for Mortal Kombat 1.
Mileena.
This also is the patch that is adding Madame Bo, our latest cameo as well. And it's coming with a host of balance changes. And as always here, I figured let's go over the major changes. Now, there is a lot of little bug fixes, little tweak, things that don't necessarily bear going over. If you want the full patch list and full patch notes, it'll be linked in the video description, so you can check it out there. But I figured let's go over the big stuff. And of course, besides the changes, we got more goodies in the store. We all love goodies here, right? So we got Mortal Kombat X, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. And we also got some really interesting dress skins for some of the characters here. Outworld Gala. So we have this for Shang Tsung, we have this for Reiko, and we have this for Li Mei. And I think they're all actually really sharp and really well done. Kind of like the Earthrealm skins from before. These are just really nice. I like them. Actually, you know what? I had crystals left over. I like the Li Mei one. So here's all the Li Mei colors, I guess. Because I think that looks pretty cool. Yo, this kind of looks like Aki's outfit a little bit. Am I crazy? You tell me. Now, of course, I'll timestamp everything. Just a few things to note. Once again, lots of little bug fixes, lots of little tweaks, like say Peacemaker. Peacemaker has more health now. He has 50 more health. That's it. That's the only change, right? So it doesn't necessarily bear its own segment. But I figure let's start with the Tarkatans, as Mileena and Baraka have some of the most interesting changes. So if you saw the recent news, you may know that instead of fatal blows, well, they keep the fatal blows, but Mileena and Baraka have Tarkatan Installs now, in that they can burn their fatal blow on a buff. And they're both different. They don't work exactly the same way. For Mileena specifically, it lets her cancel normals and some specials into other normals and specials. But it's a limited time, as you see right there. And when it runs out, then she has a bit of a coughing fit. And, well, then basically going to take a guaranteed combo. So you better win before then, right? That's kind of the idea. So what does it let you do? Well, it lets you cancel any standing, not crouching, normal strings into any other normal strings. So say just regular 1-2, right? The 3-hit combo by itself. And at the end of it, I can go 4-4. And that's all one natural combo. As you can see here, right? Or conversely, I can go back 4 and go for the sweep. It's whatever I really want to do. So I can do something like this. 1-2, 4-3-4. Back into 1-2. You can just chain into each other. You can't do the same string into itself over and over and over. But as long as there's one different move between them, you can do up to 2 additional cancels. And you can keep doing it for free. It doesn't cost meter or anything until the buff runs out. You can also do this with your psi attacks. So high psi and low psi. So once again here, 1-2, low psi, high psi. And this means zoning for once finally kind of works for her. So you can go high psi, low psi, high psi. And that's actually all one actual combo, right? So it actually gives her a bit of threat from a range that she never really had in this game anyways. No, we're a long ways away from MKX Mileena, right? And since we can cancel freely into whatever, it changes our structure, right? Let's use our 1-2 example. The second hit of 1-2 is an overhead. So I can go 1, back 4. And go and sweep. So now instead of the usual, you just okay, we're blocking the overhead because the overhead's coming. Now maybe it's not coming. Maybe it's going to be a low instead, right? I can do 1 into back 4. I can do 1 into forward 4. I can do whatever into whatever. So you got to keep guessing overhead low in a way that you never really had to before. And naturally, with whatever ambush cameos you can dream up, that's it's going to revolutionize her offense, basically. If you can't open someone up after that, they deserve to win. Because you can just freely do whatever into whatever, right? So even without spending meter, basic stuff is going to hurt a lot. You know, that's 300 before we did anything else. So it's a really cool change for Mileena. Now, Baraka. So he also got an install. It's not the same as Mileena's, though. But he also got some other things, 4-3. There's now a held version that does more damage. That's interesting. And as of the time of this recording, it says you're allowed to cancel it into either a throw or a fatal blow, as you can see right here, right? I can't get it to work right now, despite what it says. I should be able just to hold it and throw, and it's not quite working. Either can I get a fatal blow. Wouldn't be the first time I'm recording this video and something with the patch isn't working as intended, and it'll probably be fixed a few hours after I finish the video, but that's the breaks. But the idea anyways is, as you are holding it down longer, right, that you're able to basically like fake out the enemy. They think the overhead's coming, and then, you know, okay, well, we'll block, and then haha, get thrown instead, right? So that's the idea, and I'm sure it'll work later today. The mash 4 strings, at various points in the mash 4 strings, you can now special cancel into them like earlier, like a couple frames earlier, so that's nice. But yeah, so his version, and it's the same motion for Mileena and Baraka, just quarter scroll back and then hit L2 if you're on like PlayStation or whatever, right? But yeah, so his version, he constantly loses health while going for it, right? But now he gains a whole new slew of moves. I thought it was like special canceling into other specials. It's not exactly that. The idea here is you basically just get new EXs off existing special moves. And you're losing health and you're constantly building. Like, I'm not doing anything. Look at my meter going up here, right? Your meter just goes up at a crazy rate. And this is permanent till you die. This doesn't go away in any way, shape, or form. Like, if you're already in fatal blow territory health, like, you're probably going to die in the next clean hit anyway, so you might as well, I suppose. But yeah, it just gives you new tools to play around with and lets you enhance and enhance and enhance things that you couldn't before. Like, we look into our move list here, right? So, you got the usual fatal blow, right? And these are desperate Tarkatan moves. So, basically, during stab, Baraka barrage, during death spin, during bleeding blade, you can basically just hit enhance and you get something else that you wouldn't have gotten before. So like say air spin, right? So now if you air spin and then hit R2 after the fact, it turns into like the projectile bounce, versus like if you were just to enhance it out of the gate, it's not exactly the same move, right? You're enhancing it after the fact while you're in the install. So just like Mileena, this gives so many more options, so many more combo routes, so much more pressure, so much more craziness you can do. Like just something as simple as projectile, right? Like, okay, well, I'm building meter doing this the whole time while I'm in the install. Like, am I gonna rush forward and try to do something? Like, that's my option. It's my prerogative now. I could. What if I try to go for chip out? Well, thanks to like this spin, right? I can just keep going. I can keep going. I can, it's like, I can do a lot of chip damage if you know, you're not up on your flawless, right? Like, so this is just some interesting stuff. I really like this for both Mileena and Baraka. So for Shao, it's only really one change, but it's a very interesting change. In that, obviously, if you know Shao, right, it's all about either you got the axe or you dump the axe. When you dump the axe, you lose the reach, but you know, you gain all sorts of like mix up high-low pressure, right? And then you can tell the axe to kind of, hey buddy, chill. Just chill out, just chill out. You stay there. And basically every time you do this, this is just down back one, that you reset the timer. So you can like move the enemy all across the screen. You're mixing them left, right, front, and center, right? And the axe will not return. So if you're looking after you get a particularly juicy combo, or if you get like a, you know, good mix setup, good Oki setup, and you're like, you actually would prefer the mix over the damage and like power of the normals of the axe as it is, you can keep the axe just in place and then keep the mix party going, right? And that's very interesting. Also, it is enhanceable. And the enhance gives a fun little thing here. So when you enhance it, you are able to cancel out of the animation immediately. So say here, back 3. That's one of our low options. So if we do back 3 into the call, like we're negative. Like we're not really doing anything here. But if we do back 3 in the EX call, we can attack right away. And as you can see here, that means we can create new combos, which is very interesting. At bare minimum, if we want to get really tricky, like you can go like into low into overhead, and this actually is a combo if the low hits first, right? So it becomes even more difficult to block him effectively, right? Because now things that normally wouldn't work before, things that weren't possible before, now are gonna be possible. So it's a single change, but it's a really strong quality of life change that will help his pressure and his offense. Havik, it's a nerf to Helping Hand. So now if you're using it multiple times per combo, it will not do all the hits if it's multiple times per combo. So if you're doing it multiple times per combo now, Like, he will hit you the second, like, he'll hit you, but then no more additional hits. That's it. That's all. And that's the only change. So that's it. But I figure I would mention it. Now, Kenshi got some changes. Like, some of them are weird. Like, Stand 3 is now like an Omega launcher. Like, see how high they fly up now? But yeah, the big deal is Stance. So Stance now, your little puppet buddy, it doesn't last as long. So it has been cut in duration, is now 10 seconds from 15 seconds. Meaning, basically, well, less everything involving the puppet. There's new things, like he's got a new move. He has the soul exit. This is a way to exit the stance here. And enhanced soul exit, as you can see here, has armor as well. So it's a defensive tool, I guess you could say. Does that make up for losing a good chunk of the timer? Probably not, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Also, a change to the puppet is moves that affect opponents' cameos will interact with it now, right? Unfortunately, Jax doesn't grab him and punch him. I thought he would, but still, anything that interacts with cameos can now deal with the puppet as well. It's not all doom and gloom, though. Things like Demon Drop. So Demon Drop's been changed so it's better on block, and also has a lot more pushback on block. So basically, as long as you're not being stupid about it, the opponent will not really be able to do too much about it other than, you know, they block or, you know, hope they dash in or whatever. But it's going to be a lot less likely for you to get punished by a Demon Drop getting blocked. So, Kenshi land a contrast. I would say overall a nerf for sure, just because less puppet time is the whole reason you're picking the character, right? But there are at least some other things to make up for it a little bit. So Reiko is interesting. He's finally finishing his, I don't know, like his transition to a different kind of character. Because you may recall that Throwing Stars got like destroyed a whiles back, right? But now he's been getting buffs, he's getting like air throws, all that kind of stuff. And now, his run specifically. So things like canceling the run is faster. He now just exits the run quicker. And he has a new attack from the run. So before, he could do the low, he could do the mid, right? And now, if you run and hit one, he does that new throw he has. So now, it becomes low, mid to throw, which is pretty okay. And here's the extra little, nice little this. So Reiko, right? Ducking's always the problem. And if you want to dunk, that's a mid. You got to spend bars. I got a lot. And EX air dunk is also a mid. You can catch people crouching, right? But either way, you're spending 2 bars, but not on EX run. On EX run, his grab gets the same damage as the EX grabs, right? But it's a mid and it only costs 1 bar. So now you kind of really got to respect the option, right? You get the enhanced damage, you spend half as much as you otherwise would off a run cancel, and, you know, they did things like, you're more advantage in, like, back 3, so, like, if you do, like, back 3 run cancel, you may have the +7, which won't combo, but it will jail people standing if it connects. So, like, you can do some kind of messed up situations here, right? Like, he's now a much deadlier grappler at bare minimum, right? The fact that for a 1 bar now, he can catch people neutral ducking, does good damage, run cancel stuff's going to be better. All the buffs he's gotten in the previous things to make up for Throwing Stars getting nerfed, right? Like, whatever the metamorphosis has been, I feel like he's finally there now, and good for him. So, Sub-Zero, it's only one thing, but it's a big thing, in that he's got an all-new special move. This is the Polar Palm. So, the Polar Palm, Sub-Zero, he freezes you. What a shocker, right? But it's a new way to freeze people, right? Versus the established ways we have, which means, at bare minimum, new combo routes. The regular version, it won't freeze for long, but still enough to get something combo-wise. So, basic example, but after you land it, you can get another forward 1-2, right? From there, and it really helps the mini dash beforehand, you get a clone. And of course, from a clone, you get a jump in, you can do whatever. So there's more combo opportunities that just didn't exist before. Also, if you choose to enhance the Polar Palm, it'll just give you a regular freeze. Like, not this weird, like, kind of gravity freeze and they're going to fall real quick. Like, you have time to set stuff up. So more combo routes, more potential damage, just more options. And options are king in the end, right? So for Sub-Zero, it's a big win. So for Tanya, forward 2-1-1. This is kind of the classic spinny string, right? So now if it catches people as a juggle, you just bounce them like a bongo while it's going on. So that's fun. That's interesting. And big buffs to, well, the buff, right? So Seeking Guidance, the buff. Now, one, it decays longer. So obviously if you don't use it, it will eventually go away. Before it used to go away in 12 seconds. Now the level 1 version, if you don't have it fully buffed, it'll go away in 18 seconds. Level 2 version will now go away in 24 seconds. So you have just a lot more time to play with it. You don't got to immediately commit to doing something. And on that note here, if you use EX version of Burn Bar, right, you now immediately go to level 2. Done. That's great. It also recovers faster than it did before, and like they keep buffing it to recover faster and faster. And now it's 2-in-1 cancelable, meaning you can do a normal, right? Go into EX Guidance, and then, oh, I got a hit confirm. Boom, I can get a combo from it. So that's just a lot more use out of this, right? So there is a bit of damage scaling that's specifically called out in the patch notes because now you're getting combos you could never possibly have gotten otherwise, right? But still, it's really strong quality of life for Tanya across the board. And just some other notes before we quickly go into Kameo. Like, once again, there's just other small buffs that don't bear going into fully. Like, Shang Tsung, his fireballs now mostly do more damage, like double skull, triple skull. That's great. Omni-Man, you can now do his fatal blow in the air. That's cool. Peacemaker now has more health. Once again, for a lot of like the little things, the full patch notes are in the video description if you want to check it out. Now let's go to the cameos because there's a lot of interesting cameo changes. So cameos, Frost, the ice wall. Remember that being added quite a while ago, right? So the ice wall now starts up 19 frames faster. That's a lot. And you may also recall that it has the follow-up where you can like basically detonate the wall, right? So before, when you detonate the wall, like naturally your cameo meter would recharge, but before it was 6 seconds before the recharge would happen. Now it happens basically right away. So the utility of this and the follow-up is just better, right? So it's a much more attractive prospect. You get the wall quicker if you just need the wall. And if you're looking to just do the whole big bang, you start recharging your meter almost immediately. Fantastic. Goro, it's very slight. It's almost imperceptible, but raised roof up punch now regenerates the cameo meter a little faster to the point where honestly I can't tell that much. Also, dead weight, which is the throw. So he now starts recharging his meter almost immediately after dead weight. Before there was a pretty good delay after the fact once he did it, but now like the animation is not even done. He's already regenerating his meter, right? So that does make it more valuable, more useful. Similar style change for Jax. So when he does gotcha grab and he actually gets somebody, the recharge is now almost immediate. So you get it, great. And then, you know, going back to getting your meter back to where it was. Okay, now let's go for a sexy change. Striker, it's got a new move. So you have grenade tosses, right? If you do specifically the close one and you hold the cameo button, he'll then come in and just like bust out the TMP, like the old classic Mortal Kombat 3, right? It does take the full meter, but, well, it's a bunch of mid projectiles, as in not duckable. It's an ambush call. It's so plus on block, like I can do like jumps over your head, right? Like, it's just good lockdown. Striker's always had like a good grab bag of tools. You know, that's why things had to change with him over time. But yeah, this is just like, it's cool. I like it. And I think it's strong. Obviously it takes the full meter. That you know, you're paying the price, but this is a potential game-winning style move because it's an ambush and it's mid. So worth the price of admission as far as I'm concerned. And our last big change up is Tremor. So this is specifically only crystalline Tremor, very evoking of Mortal Kombat X, because you can just kind of come in and you can become a stage interactable. Like you can jump off them, like straight up. And yes, you can do different jump angles, close, far, like all that kind of stuff. But it's not just that. Like that by itself is, I think, really cool. Like the fact that you can just be there and then work with them in multiple ways. But you can also chuck them. And then it becomes a giant, hugely plus on block mid. So like versatility was never the issue with Tremor, right? It was always just kind of managing which stance you were in, right? But now Crystalline comes in and now we have a new very strong mid projectile and we also have more jump options. Like that's really cool. That's just another really fun layer to the character. I like it a lot. And that's the patch, and is that it for MK1? I still think there'll be more patches, as in like there might be more balance tweaks. Maybe there'll be another cameo or two that are like, you know, not fully done yet, but will be done in time. But when it comes to like new proper content, like new full-on characters, like, you know, the T1000 or whatever, or like a Combat Pack 3 or a Season 3, I don't know. You know, famously, some months back, we know we broke the story that Warner Brothers kind of cut the legs out from Mortal Kombat 1. NetherRealm Studios is very unfortunately not in charge of their own destiny on a lot of things. They're at the mercy of Warner Brothers. And while maybe not the last patch for Mortal Kombat 1, this may be the last major patch. And if that is the case, I'll just say, once again, I've said this many times, but Mortal Kombat 1, maybe it launched a little rocky, sure. But man, did they ever course correct in a really strong way over like the last year or so. They've done really well. They give a shit, basically, is what I really got out of this, right? Like, obviously not, like, yo, remember, like, Cyrax assist at launch? Like, the cameo? Like, there was some messed up stuff. Then when Cyrax stopped being the villain, then Lao started being the villain, then Striker, like, we always kept moving villain. Like, there was problems, but they kept moving in a good direction, and they keep moving in a good direction, adding new moves, adding, like, smart balance changes. Certainly a lot better than it was in Mortal Kombat 11, in my opinion, for sure. So, if this is the last patch, well then, sucks. But, well, I look forward to what's next, right? Current NRS, despite whatever issues they have with Warner Brothers over their head, is doing good. And I just want the best for them, basically. And I want the best for Mortal Kombat. I want the best for Injustice, if that's next. I don't know. I'm sort of rambling at this point, because I'm a little bummed out. I guess the future will tell. If it all comes down to it anyways, as a big Shao Kahn fan, General Shao was a damn good Shao Kahn. That's what I'll say. But my friends, that's it for the patch for now. We'll see how it goes for the future. You know, we've been posting on Twitter here. The Thinny is showing that there might not be too much in the future once again, because the shrine's updated. I don't think there's ever going to be new stuff added to the shrine. And if there's not new stuff added to the shrine, well, probably not going to be new stuff added, period. We'll see. I don't know. Once again, I'm rambling. So that's it for the video, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out, play some Mortal Kombat.